Number 12, Avery Jackson. And number 1, Brian Pruitt. And Dale Murphy, put those hands together for number 5, number 1, Will Nance. Number 20, Alex Harris. Number 22, Lawrence Roca. Number 30, Brandon Moore. And number 33, Brandon Watson. Folks, please keep in mind, this is not just a sporting event, but also an educational opportunity. So please help us practice and teach good sportsmanship.
shot right there. And the guy missed it. I'm thinking if you can hold Haytide at 43, yeah, we did. I was there last. Marty's there. everything you're saying and we don't know.
Stay there now. Stay there. Come on.
Getting good from the Royals.
Right
point. Almost come see Squidward right now.
set out the next game? Well, from what I read, what happened, he did not get ejected from the game. He got 2 technicals, but the last one was his 5th foul, so he went to the bench. So we're getting ready for the national anthem, so we'll take a little break here, and we'll be back in about a minute and a half. Welcome back, everybody. It's Keith Bowen back at the Bill Overnight Gymnasium, where have already had the Twin Rivers Royals introduced. They'll have a 5'8" senior, Zach Hargraves, a 6'4" senior, Hayden Thomas, and those two guys are their two best players. Tanner Ledbetter, Alan Hendricks, a 5'11" senior, and Cody Vaughn, a 6'1" junior. So they start 4 seniors and a junior, Aaron Middlestat. They start all seniors, 6'1" senior. The Dons will start Max Torres, Derek Ferguson, Wyatt Marler, Ori Owen, and Levi Rawlings. And as I said before the break, you guys are going to have to step it up. This was going to be a tough enough game if the Dons had their full lineup in there, but they'll really have to step it up now. Twin Rivers in blue, the Dons in white, and Twin Rivers is going to control the opening tip. Zach Hargraves will run the point. Dons are going to start out in man-to-man defense. Hargraves, a good little ball handler, good scorer, and a good passer as well. He gets around Ferguson, stops at the elbow, gives it to Middlestat. Back to Hargraves. Hargraves down into the paint, hits Middlestat driving to the basket, and Orion blocks the shot, and Levi Rawlings is going to come out with it. Gives it to Derek Ferguson, passes ahead to Marler. Marler's going to go into the lane, man falls down, he puts the shot up and good. The defensive man fell down, left him wide open from about 12 feet, and the Dons break on top 2-0. Twin Rivers going from left to right here in the first half. Dons from right to left. Thomas gives the ball to, Ledbetter. Out front, Middlestat. He's going to shoot a 3, and it's an air ball way short. Twin Rivers is coached by Seth McBroom. He is 2 of the 3 McBroom brothers, and his younger brother Cole was the coach at Malden now, and we'll be down there here in a couple of weeks. Ferguson gives it to Marler on the right wing. Twin Rivers also on a man-to-man. Head of the key to Owen, left side, Mac Torres. Out front, Levi Rawlings. He's open for a 3-pointer, no good, and coming flying in for the rebounds, Ferguson, and he lays it in. Nice job by Derek Ferguson to crash the glass there and get a bucket for the Dons. Thomas guarded by Max Torres. Takes it inside and gives it back out to Ledbetter. Out front, Middlestock. Now to Hargraves. Baseline, it goes to Hendricks. Hendricks guarded by Marler. Marler backs off of him a little bit. Dribbles out, gives it out front to Middlestock. Ball knocked away by Ferguson, picked up by Max Torres. It's knocked away from him, but Derek Ferguson there to pick it up for the Dons. 6:10 to go first quarter. The Dons lead 4-0. Ferguson, right wing, going to dribble into the paint all the way down. His little runner's up short. Ball tipped around, and Ledbetter gets the rebound for Twin Rivers. Thomas throws it into the front court to Hargraves. Hargraves dribbles to the baseline, down underneath, kicks it back out to Middlestock. Out front, Thomas fakes the three, gets Torres in the air, shoots it from the free throw line. It's good. You got to respect the three-pointer. Max went for the fake, and he ended up getting one from about the free throw line, make the score 4-2, Twin Rivers. Or excuse me, Dons. Torres gives it over to Rawlings. Hands it off to Ferguson. Back out between the circles to Owen. Now left side to Wyatt Marler. Marler takes it into the paint, kicks it out to Ferguson on the right side. They're really going to be, they've got Hendricks guarding Wyatt Marler, so I'd say Hendricks is their best defensive player. Ferguson gets a screen. Pick and roll to Owen underneath, goes up and he's fouled by Hargraves. And Hargraves at 5'8", and Orion about 6'6", definitely a mismatch. And Hargraves is going to pick up the first foul in the game. And Orion will go to the free throw line to shoot two for the Dons, with the Dons on top 4-2 with 5:09 left in the first quarter. Owen eyes it up and puts it up with the left hand. He missed it. Owen, one of the better free throw shooters for the Dons varsity team. By the way, the junior varsity Dons won again tonight, 51-41. And he missed both of them. That's very unusual. Twin Rivers with the rebound. Thomas hands it to Middlestock. Over to Ledbetter, just outside the free throw line. Now to Hendricks on the left elbow. To Hargraves is there playing with it in the paint. Again, Thomas gets his man in the air, drops it off underneath the Ledbetter, and he lays it in. Good pass. Very unselfish play by Hayden Thomas, the senior. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him go play college ball somewhere. He's a really good player. And that was a very unselfish play. He's a big scorer. Marler open at the head of the key for three. It's long. Ball tipped around, and Hendricks gets it out in the pass to Hargraves. Hargraves lobs it down on the baseline to Ledbetter. Cut off by Levi Rawlings. Back out front to Hargraves, over to Middlestock. They're using Middlestock out front, trying to pull Owen away from that basket, but Owen's just backing off of him, staying in the paint. Hargraves dribbles into the paint, and we're going to have a foul, I believe, on Derek Ferguson. That's Derek's first foul. First team foul on the Dons. Now, we got number 12, Brent Trout, and also number 5, Parker Watson, checking in for Twin Rivers. Thomas to Ledbetter. Ledbetter. Now it goes underneath to Trout. Out in the corner, Ledbetter, a high arcing three, and it's good. Tanner Ledbetter has 5 of their 7, and they have run off 7 points in a row to take a 7-4 lead. Now Marler's being guarded by Parker Watson. Marler open in the corner, three-pointer, no good. Ferguson gets the offensive rebound. He's open at the free throw line. His jumper's good. That's 4 for Derek Ferguson. 7-6 Twin Rivers. Hargraves into the front court with 3.5 minutes left. Little hesitation move. His shot is partially blocked by Owen. Ferguson quickly up the floor. Goes into the lane. His little runner up from out in front, no good. And we're going to have a foul on the rebound on Rawlings. Probably a good foul because Hargraves was standing out here almost at midcourt, wide open. Now A.J. Laura comes in for Twin Rivers and Middlestock back in. Hargraves and Ledbetter check out. Thomas, the only starter left on the floor right now. Watson, Thomas, Laura, Trout, and Middlestock. Laura's got it left wing. Gives it back out front to Watson, back to Laura. Baseline to Middlestock. Back out front, wide open. Parker Watson, his three-pointer's no good. Derek Ferguson gets the rebound. Passes it all the way up the floor, and Levi Rawlings saves it before it goes out of bounds. Nice job there to save it. And with 2:40 to go in the first quarter, the Dons trail 7-6. They've got the basketball. Rawlings, Ferguson now on the right wing. Ferguson all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Ferguson off to a good start. He's got 6. And Alan Hendricks comes to the scorer's table. Check back in the next dead ball for Twin Rivers. Pass down on the baseline to Watson. Back to Middlestott, over on the left side now to Laura. Laura hands it to Watson. Watson off to Trout. Trout in the corner. Gives it to Laura back out front to Middlestott. Don's still playing man-to-man. Thomas finally gets his hands on the ball this possession. He's going to step back, shoot the 3. It's in and out, but Middlestott's there to get the rebound. And Oriolan blocks the shot from behind, but Coach Cagle a little upset because he didn't block him out and get the rebound. Watson back in for Laura. And it'll be Twin Rivers ball underneath their own basket. The Dons lead 8-7, 1:57 left first quarter. Watson to inbound it, gets it to Thomas. He turns, falling away, gives it off to Middlestott, goes up to the shot, and it's good. And Twin Rivers goes back up by 1, 9-8. He took that ball right at Oriolan. Max Torres, right wing. Now to Ferguson. He's open in the corner for 3, and it's good. Boy, Derek Ferguson off to a great start. He has 9 of the 11 for the Dons. Hendricks dribbles to the left wing. Hands it to Brent Trout. Now ahead of the key. A long three-pointer put up by Watson. No good. Offensive rebound by Thomas in the lane. He's going to throw it out to Hendricks on the left wing, and Thomas got caught in there. 3 seconds. I'm surprised he just didn't go up and shoot that. He's 6. They got him listed at 6'4". He's pretty tall. And he's being guarded by Max Torres, which is they've got him listed at 5'9". I'm surprised he just didn't go up and shoot it over him once he got tied up in the lane, but he didn't. A minute to go in the quarter. The Dons lead 11-9. Torres gives it to Marler. Marler's double team as soon as he gets the ball. Dribbles to the baseline. Throws it cross court and it's stolen by Parker Watson. Watson passes ahead to Hendricks. Hendricks goes in. Shot blocked by Owen. Loose on the floor. Twin Rivers gets it. Trout, right side. Thomas fakes the 3. Then he kicks it back out to Hendricks. Hendricks is going to shoot it from about 8 feet, and it's good. We're tied at 11 with 30 seconds left. Wouldn't be surprised if Dons don't go for one shot. Coach Cagle's done that a lot this year. Ferguson dribbles across the half line. He's going to dribble it down probably to about 10 seconds, and then the Dons will start working it for the shot. Coach McBroom tells Watson to go out and get on Ferguson a little bit. Ferguson throws it in the corner to Marler. Marler's going to drop it off down low. Owen catches on the block, turns, shoots, and he missed it. Rawlings had the rebound, lost it. And Thomas is going to shoot it three-quarter court, no good. And that'll be the end of a frenetic first quarter there with a score of 11-11. The Twin Rivers Royals and the Doniphan Dons in an Ozark Foothills Conference game that is pretty important. We'll be back in 1 minute with second quarter action. Listen to the Dons.
Born to be wild? Well, don't let higher fuel prices put a damper on your fun. Get to Countryside Chevrolet in Doniphan today for a more fuel-efficient vehicle and let your wild side ride. Countryside has new vehicles that get more than 30 miles per gallon. Find out about flex fuel technology and check their great lineup of program and late model pre-owned vehicles. Ripley County's largest Chevrolet dealer is Countryside Chevrolet in the Hillcrest Plaza, Doniphan. Chevrolet, an American revolution.
You've heard it all before. We're number one. We're the best. We have the biggest rebates. Now is the time to skip the hype and come to Current River Ford in Doniphan. They're all about helping you find the perfect new Ford. Current River Ford services your vehicles after the sale. From the moment you drive in, you will receive the quality service you've been missing. With the selection at Current River Ford, you'll find the new vehicle you want. How about getting your next vehicle at a dealership that makes it all about you? Current River Ford, Highway 160 in Doniphan.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Keith Bowman. We're at the Bill L. Wright Gymnasium. Good crowd on hand for this Doniphan Twin Rivers matchup tonight. When they go on the road, and there's a nice crowd here from Twin Rivers. Good crowd for Doniphan. as well. We're tied at 11 as we start the second quarter. Ferguson has started off good, and he's going to drive into the basket, and he's going to get fouled. I don't know if they'll give him 2 shots or not. We'll have to wait and see. Foul is on number 15. That is Tanner Ledbetter. That's a second team foul. They call it on the floor, so the Dons will inbound. Max Torres will throw it in. Throws it out front to Ori Owen. Owen gives it to Ferguson. He's guarded by Hargraves. Right side, Torres. Out front to Owen at the head of the key. Hands it to Ferguson. Ferguson dribbles down, cut off. Throws it back on the right side to Max Torres. He's got Owen posting up, but he dribbled in, and the defense slacked back off on Owen to double team him. Torres got it right wing out front to Rawlings. Now to Ferguson. Ferguson with a nice move to the baseline. He puts the shot up. It won't go. And a rebound by Middlestad. And a long pass up ahead is going to go out of bounds as Thomas tried to hit Hargraves flying down the floor, and it went out of bounds. The Dons will get it back. We're still tied at 11. Ferguson off to a good start. He has 9 of the 11 for the Dons. Torres bounces it. Well, I thought he was going to give it to Owen. He had him posting up again, and he's quite a bit taller than Middlestad is, but they haven't gone in there enough, in my opinion, this early in the game. They got to get some points out of Owen. Inside, Ferguson open again for another 3, and it's good. That's his second one. And Derek Ferguson off to his best start of the season. Dons lead 14-11. 6 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first half. Hargraves gets a screen, dribbles into the paint, kicks it out in the corner, Middlestad. Middlestad is going to be called for an offensive foul as he pushed off with that shoulder on Ori Owen. And that'll be Middlestad's first foul. And Hayden Thomas is going to check out. And it'll be Parker Watson coming back in. Twin Rivers is going to come up and play a little full court defense here. We'll see if it's straight man-to-man. All but Owen and Middlestad are way up in the front court. Torres inbounds it to Marler. Marler guarded by Watson. Wyatt dribbles down, open at the free throw line, step back jumper short, and he got fouled. That should be 2 shots. That's going to be on Watson, who stepped in and picked up the foul. And it will be 2 shots for Wyatt Marler. The Dons 0 for 2 from the free throw line so far. And those were by Ori Owen, who usually shoots free throws pretty well. Marler gets his 3rd point. That makes the score 15-11 in favor of the Dons. Next one on the way, and it's nothing but net. So the Dons go up by 5. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. Middlestad gives it to Ledbetter, misses a 15-footer from the right elbow. Marler gets the rebound. 6 minutes even left in the first half. Dons up by 5. Ferguson over to Torres. Give it to him, man. Owen is wide open deep in the box and on the paint, and he gets it and he lays it in. Turn around the jump hook, good by Ori Owen. I think he can get that shot about every time down the floor if they clear out that side. That's what happened that time. Hargraves over on the left side. Head of the key to Ledbetter. This Twin Rivers team won't get rattled because they played so well in that Christmas tournament. Hargraves with a little nice left-handed layup, puts it in. That's his first bucket. Ferguson quickly into the front court. Circles out to the left wing. Back out front to Torres. Now back to Ferguson on the left side. Man, Owen is wide open down there. He's got that. Torres dribbles baseline, reverse layup up, no good. We're going to have another foul on Twin Rivers. It'll be on number 5. That is Parker Watson's second foul. Thomas and Trout are coming back in. Watson and Hendricks will check out for the Royals. Be Don's ball underneath. That's team foul number 5. Inbounds to Ferguson, open again for another 3. Oh, rims out. Middlestad with a rebound. Don's up 18-13. Hargraves kicks it out in the corner. Trout, long three-pointer up, no good, and Marler with the rebound. The Dons hanging on to a 5-point lead with 4:45 left in the first half. Ferguson dribbles right side, gives it to Marler. He's going to fire it up, and it's good. That's a three-pointer for Wyatt Marler. He was way out there, and it's 21-13 Dons. Hargraves dribbles up to the head of the key, down into the paint, and he carried the basketball. And Coach McBroom shakes his head up and down. He said, "You done it." I think he's done that a couple of times. Sometimes they let the kids get away with that. Then all of a sudden they call it and they wonder what they've done. And again, Owen is down there posted up on Middlestock. They don't get it to him. Marler again for another three, missed this one. And Middlestock gets the rebound. 4:05 left first half. Dons up 21-13. Thomas gives it to Middlestock. Right back to Thomas on the right side. Thomas back to Middlestock as he rolls to the basket, puts it up no good. And a rebound to Ori Owen. And Middlestock was intimidated, I think, by Owen there on defense a little bit, made him miss that one. Ferguson walks it across the timeline. Comes over to the left side, trying to get Marler open. Boy, Rawlings was wide open if he'd have been looking for the pass. He did get it, turnaround jumper short. And Hargraves gets it, and he runs it up the floor. Dons do a pretty good job of getting back. Hargraves kicks it out in the corner to Ledbetter. Out front, Thomas. And Hayden Thomas calls a timeout for the Royals. With 3:25 to go in the first half, Dons lead 21-13. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the Missouri way of life. We're for worrying less about the what-ifs and more about the why-nots. We're for checking off your bucket list and then making a new one. For starting a family, a business, a tradition. And if you find yourself starting over, we're here for that too. We're for building a life in Missouri and then going out and living it. And when it comes to making sure everything you've built is protected, we're for you.
I am Doug Green, the Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, and if you're in Ripley County, I've got you covered.
Dons up 21-13 with 3:25 to go in the first half. It'll be Twin Rivers' ball after the timeout. So far, so good for the Dons, playing without Trent Lippolt, but still got a long way to go. And Hayden Thomas has only got 2 points, and Zach Hargraves has only got 2 for the Royals. And those two, especially Thomas, could go off at any time. Trout fakes the shot down into the paint, puts the shot up, and he scores. Makes it 21-15. Hargraves meets Ferguson right at midcourt. Gets it to Marler on the right wing. Out front, Ori Owen, left side to Ferguson. Ferguson into the paint, and he has to throw up a wild shot, but Rawlings is going to get the rebound. He got bumped, no call, and Owen has the ball knocked away, and he's going to go to the free throw line. And Rawlings got shoved out of there. And that foul is on number 12, Brent Trout. Last 2:48. 2:48 of the first half. Dons will be in the 1-and-1. Owen's free throw is good. He missed 2 early in the first quarter. And that gives him 3 points. And now number 31, Travis Landers, a 6'2 junior, comes in and replaces Tanner Ledbetter for the Twin Rivers Royals. Dons back up by 7, trying to make it 8 from the free throw line, Ori Owen. And he does. Dons would like to keep Twin Rivers from going on a little run here before the half. They lead by 8 with 2:35 to go. And also coming back in the game is A.J. Laura. They've got Hargraves, Laura, Trout, Landers, and Thomas. A long three-pointer put up, no good. And a rebound by Ori Owen. Ferguson's going to dribble down. Gives it to Marler at the head of the key. Was open, didn't take it. He's going to shoot a step-back 15-footer, and he knocks the bottom out of it. 9 points for Marler. He and Ferguson's got 12, Marler's got 9, and it's a 10-point lead, the biggest lead of the first half for the Dons. Hargraves about 5 feet behind the three-point line. Ferguson backs off him a little bit. He dribbles and kicks it out in the corner to A.J. Laura. Dribbles to the right side, gives it out to Trout, and Trout makes a three-pointer from the corner. Dons dared him to shoot it, and he shot it and made it. It's 25-18. Dons are clearing out the right side for Ferguson. Ferguson spins into the paint, turnaround jumper off the glass, no good. And Twin Rivers gets the rebound, and we're going to have a foul on Ferguson. And that's a silly foul. That's his second. 84 feet away from their basket. It'll be Twin Rivers' ball. Hargraves on the left wing. Back out front to Trout. Down on the right side, Laura. Back to Trout. Makes the pass to the left side, gives it back to Laura. He's going to shoot a three. It's way off. And Ferguson picks up the rebound off the floor for the Dons. We got 1 minute to go in the first half. Dons up 25-18. And if Twin Rivers doesn't come out and make them pass the ball around, they'll probably go for one shot. Coach Cagle would be tickled to death to go in with a 7-point lead, or maybe 8 or 9. They're going to run their little delay game here, I think, if they can hang on to it. And I'll just let you watch here. We'll see if somebody shoots the basketball. I don't think they'll shoot it unless Marler gets a wide open three or somebody gets a wide open layup. I don't think they'll shoot it until it gets down till about 10 seconds, and then they'll try to get a shot in. Just running the clock down. We're down to 25 seconds. Max Torres with it over on the right side. Gives it to Marler. Over to Owen. Owen will take the handoff back to Marler. Ferguson comes and gets the ball with 14 seconds. Now the Dons are going to start their play. Gives it to Ori Owen. Out front to Rawlings. Now to Ferguson. Out front Marler. He's open from the right elbow. Jumper up. No good. Ori Owen with the rebound. Has it knocked out of his hands. I think it's going to go off his leg. So 0.7 seconds to go. So the Dons run it down. Alan Hendricks is coming back in. Tanner Ledbetter back in. And I'm sure Coach McBroom has got a play here where he throws the ball the length of the floor. They're going to have to catch it and shoot. There's not time for a dribble. The Dons don't want to foul him on the shot here for sure. And a long pass, and Orion's going to knock it out of bounds. And a good first half for the Dons here as they lead the Twin Rivers Royals 25-18 here in Doniphan at the half. 7-point lead for the Dons. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, we'll give you the scoring for the first half for both teams, and we'll talk about what we got coming up next week. A couple of home games coming up Monday and Tuesday, but we'll talk about that when we come back in 2 minutes.
You could try getting a loan out of town.
Someone will be with you. Don't know when. Don't hold your breath. But keep waiting. You don't have anything better to do.
Or just come to us, where we make quick decisions locally. Ozark Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, now serving 6 counties. Online at ozarkfcu.com.
The phone booth is your one stop for all your cell phone needs. The phone booth now offers Total Wireless, where you can get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data for only $35 a month. Need to add more phones to your account? Not a problem. Family plans are also available. You can manage your account in person or online at tpbooth.com. Come see the phone booth next to Subway in Doniphan for all your cell phone needs.
Davis True Value is proud to sponsor the Dons and Donettes for another exciting ball season. Just like the Dons and Donettes, Davis True Value knows hard work wins the game. They are your selection, service, and savings destination hardware store, serving the area with paint, plumbing, electrical, lawn and garden, and housewares. Your local True Value hardware with so much more. From window repair to chainsaw sharpening, we are the store of first choice. Behind every project is a True Value.
True Value.
Keith Bowen back at the Bill L. Wright Gymnasium in Doniphan for this key Ozark Foothills Conference game. And the Dons lead the Twin Rivers Royals at halftime 25-18. A great job of defense by the Dons there in the first half to hold Twin Rivers to 18 points. And Twin Rivers was able to score 11 points in the first quarter, but they only got 7 in that second quarter. The Dons scored 11 in the first and 14 in the second. They were tied 11-11 at the end of the first quarter. But the Dons outscored them 14-7, and that gives them a 7-point lead here at halftime, 25-18. For Twin Rivers, they had 6 guys get in the scoring column, but their leading scorers only have 5 points apiece, and it's 2 guys that I would not have expected to lead them in scoring, and it's Brent Trout and Tanner Ledbetter. They both have a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer for 5 points, and then Alan Hendricks and Aaron Middlestad have 2, and the 2 guys that I would have thought would lead them in scoring, and they may yet before the game's over. The Dons still got a half of basketball here, and they need to play it just like they did in the first half. But Hargraves and Thomas only have 2 points apiece. For the Dons, they've only had, and Twin Rivers did not shoot a free throw in the first half. For the Dons, Derek Ferguson had a fantastic first half. Matter of fact, that's probably the best half of basketball he's played, at least in my opinion, this year offensively. Derek always plays good defense, rebounds, and but he had an excellent offensive first half. He hit a couple of 3-pointers and 3 2-point baskets. He's got 12. Wyatt Marler has a 3-point basket, 2 2-point baskets, and 2 free throws for 9. And Ori Owen has a 2-point basket and 2 free throws for 4. And the Dons were 4 of 6 from the free throw line in the first half. Nobody in any foul trouble. Parker Watson has 2 for Twin Rivers. Derek Ferguson 2 for the Dons, and nobody else with more than 1 on either team. So the Dons lead 25-18. The JV Dons won 51-41, and I was talking with Coach Cagle before the JV game, and he told me something that I did not realize, but I'm always there to watch the JV games and know that they've been playing really well. But he plays Ori Owen down 2 quarters in every JV game because you can play 6 quarters in a night, so that leaves him for 4 quarters in the varsity game. They have outscored every team they've played this year in the second and third quarter with Ori Owen on the floor. Now, the Dons got off to a rough start. Their JV did early in the season, but I'm not sure what their record is now, but they lost to Charleston the other night, but they outscored Charleston by 15 points in the second and third quarter the other night when Ori was on the floor. So what I'm saying all this is to say that the future might look pretty bright for the Dons. At the first of the year, I was thinking, oh boy, I don't know. The JV's not playing well, but they've got some freshmen that are stepping up and playing well, and Ori's only a sophomore, so future may look pretty bright because, of course, we have Max Torres, Derek Ferguson, I'll get it right here in a minute, Wyatt Marler and Trent Lippold, all seniors for the Dons, so this will be their last season. But they have been playing better, and they got a big win over Twin Rivers here tonight. I think that makes their conference record, the junior varsities, 2-1. I believe they lost at East Carter, if I remember right. I'm not positive. But that was back at the first of the season when they weren't playing that well. And I believe they're 2-1. So the JV plays in the Ozark Foothills Conference too, so it would be good for them to get a high seed. And the more they keep winning, the better off they'll be. But our halftime score is 25-18. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to come back. We will talk about what we got coming up next week as far as the Dons and the Donettes go. Be back in 2 minutes.
If you're shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV, you need to make a stop at Countryside Chevrolet on Highway 160 in Doniphan. Countryside has one of the largest Chevrolet selections in the area, plus plenty of pre-owned vehicles that go through a 117-point inspection before they're warranted for 12 months or 12,000 miles. The goal at Countryside is to provide you the best deal on your next car, truck, or SUV. See them online at CountrysideChevrolet.com or call 1-800-63-CHEVY. Chevrolet, an American revolution.
You've heard it all before. We're number 1. We're the best. We have the biggest rebates. Now is the time to skip the hype and come to Current River Ford in Doniphan. They're all about helping you find the perfect new Ford. Current River Ford services your vehicles after the sale. From the moment you drive in, you will receive the quality service you've been missing. With the selection at Current River Ford, you'll find the new vehicle you want. How about getting your next vehicle at a dealership that makes it all about you? Current River Ford, Highway 160 in Doniphan.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the Missouri way of life. We're for worrying less about the what-ifs and more about the why-nots. We're for checking off your bucket list and then making a new one. For starting a family, a business, a tradition. And if you find yourself starting over, we're here for that too. We're for building a life in Missouri and then going out and living it. And when it comes to making sure everything you've built is protected, we're for you.
I am Doug Green, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, and if you're in Ripley County, I've got you covered.
My truck and I work all day long, so the truck has to be tough. But I want my truck loan easygoing, and that's what I get at my credit union. Flexible terms, great rates. My truck loan works for me, just like my truck.
Ozark Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, now serving 6 counties. Online at ozarkfcu.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got about 2 minutes before the start of the second half. Mentioned we would talk about what we got coming up next week. On Monday night, the Donettes will be in action here at home, and they're going to be playing the South Iron Lady Panthers. And I just looked up on Max Prep on my phone. The South Iron Lady Panthers are 10-2 on the season, and I was going to look up to see if they were ranked. They're Class 1. I believe they're Class 1, still Class 1 school. But their 2 losses have come to Park Hills Central. Both losses have come to Park Hills Central, and they have beaten everybody else they have played. And they actually played in the championship game of the Christmas tournament up at Park Hills or Farmington, where it is. They have up there at the same time Bloomfield's going on. So the Donettes will play them. By the way, if you didn't hear, the Donettes won last night over at Couch, had an easy time. I believe the final score was 59-23, and the score at halftime was 44. I'm sure Coach Epps got a lot of younger girls in playing in the second half, but the Donettes are 10-2 on the season. South Iron has the same record. Ought to be a good game here on Monday night. It'll be a tough one for the Donettes. And then on Tuesday night, the girls go to Fredericktown, and the boys are playing here against Winona, so we're going to stay here and do the game on YouTube, the Winona game. And then on Thursday, the girls travel to Koshkonong, so we're not going to do that one because we're not sure if we can get out over there. And Friday night, the boys go to Naylor. We're going to check and see if they've got Wi-Fi in the gym. We've never been able to get out down there because of the metal building, but if they've got Wi-Fi, we might be able to get out, and we're going to check on that and see, so we'll let you know about that sometime next week. All right, well, we've got one half of basketball to go. Maybe a little surprising to a lot of people here. The Dons playing without Trent Lippolt lead the Twin Rivers Royals. Royals come in at 9-3 on the season, 1-0 in the conference, and it's going to be Twin Rivers' basketball. The Dons lead 25-18. They got Hargraves, Thomas, Middlestott, Hendricks, and Ledbetter. Excuse me. And the Dons are still going to play man-to-man. Thomas guarded by Max Torres. Him and Derek Ferguson have done a great job on Hargraves and Thomas. Hargraves into the paint, and he got it up over Owen somehow or another, just barely, and it crawled over the lip of the rim and fell in to cut the lead to 5. Derek Ferguson with the basketball. Gives it to Torres. And again, Owen posting up, and they're not even really looking in there. I do not understand that. Ferguson hands the ball to Rawlings. Rawlings kicks it out to Torres, now up front to Owen. Owen gives it to Wyatt Marler. Marler dribbles to the baseline, and the shot up, no good. We're going to have a foul before the shot. On Alan Hendricks, that's his first. Dons will inbound underneath their own basket. Max Torres to inbound it. Got to hurry up. Gets it in the corner to Marler. Marler dribbles around, splits the double team, missed a shot, goes up for the rebound, and Middlestott gets it. Hargraves throws it up the floor. Perfect pass to Ledbetter, and he lays it in. The Dons got to watch out. I knew that Twin Rivers would probably make a run, and they've started here at the start of the second half. They've scored the first 4 points. We've played a little over a minute. And again, Owen is wide open. He's pushing Middlestott completely under the basket. Why they're not giving it to him, I do not know. He can shoot over him anytime he wants to if they get it in there. They lob it down to him on the baseline. He's going to go in and put it up. He missed it, though. Oh, he's got to make that. Here comes Thomas right up the gut. Dribbles down, kicks it out to Hargraves. Hargraves dribbles baseline, runs into Rawlings, loses it. And here comes Max Torres back the other way. He's going to feather out to the left wing. Out front to Marler. Over to Ferguson. Fakes the three, and he traveled. And the Dons not off to a good start. We played a minute, 38 seconds. They've not scored. Twin Rivers has put 4 on the board to cut the 7-point lead to 3. And I cannot figure out for the life of me why they're not giving that ball to Ori Owen. I know he missed that shot there, but he got a little too far into the basket and had to back his way out. And he was double teamed at that point. Hargraves on the right wing. Out front, Ledbetter. He swings it left side to Hendricks. Hendricks takes the dribble. Out front to Hargraves. He's going to shoot a three. It's no good. Wide right. The ball's knocked out of bounds by Hayden Thomas. A good box out there by Max Torres, and Thomas come up behind him and knocked it away. 5:50 to go in the third quarter. Ferguson hounded in the back court. Gets past everybody down low to Owen, and he lays it in. That time, boy, they run it just perfect. He didn't pull it out. He went ahead and penetrated and got Owen wide open. 27-22 Dons. Hargraves or Ferguson backing off of him daring to shoot. Hits Hendricks in the lane. Hendricks is going to dribble over to the right side, go to the baseline, cut off, pass in the paint to Thomas. And he's going to be fouled on the reach in, and I think that's the third one on Ferguson. It is, and Derek's played a good game, boy, and then you keep him in there. Now Isaac Thurman, a 5'11 junior, comes in for Ledbetter for the Royals. It'll be Twin Rivers ball underneath their own basket. Hendricks still get it in. Throws it out front. Hargraves standing on the three-point line. Dribbles in, kicks it out in the corner to Hendricks. Hendricks into the paint. His little runner, no good. Ball batted around. And Max Torres is going to get it. Now it's knocked away, and Twin Rivers comes away with it. Here comes Hargraves. Right down the middle, it's knocked away from behind by Levi Rawlings, right to Wyatt Marler. Marler has it knocked away by Hargraves, and Hargraves is going to pick up the foul. A little ragged there on both ends. And that'll be the second team foul on Twin Rivers here in the third quarter. That's Hargraves' second personal. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Ferguson getting instructions from Coach Cagle. Hands it to Marler. He's open. It's short. And Middlestop with a rebound, and he's fouled. And I think that's going to be on Ori Owen. That'll be his first, I think. We'll look up at the board and make sure. They're a little slow getting it up there. They still don't have it up there. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see later. They got second foul on number 1. That was Twin Rivers' foul a while ago. They didn't put it up there. All they put up was a team foul. Hendricks, left wing, bounces to Thurman. Thomas' jumper from the free throw line is good for Hayden Thomas. That's his fourth point, and it's 27-24. Twin Rivers inches closer again with 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Ferguson, they clear out for him, gives it to Max Torres. Torres has it knocked away by Hargraves, and he's going to commit his third foul. He likes to go for that steal, and he picked up his third. And we got Brent Trout coming in, and also Parker Watson. Hendricks and Hargraves will check out. Dons with the ball, leading by 3 with 4:20 left in the third quarter. Rawlings gives it left side. They get it down low to Owen. He's pushed out, backs his way in, and he puts it up, and it's good. That's what they need to do, I think, folks, is to get it inside to him. 4 minutes left in the third. Lead back to 5. Thomas guarding him, or dribbling out near midcourt. They're clearing out for him. Torres is doing a good job. Middle stop, just outside the free throw line. Back to Thomas. Thomas is going to shoot from the elbow, and it's good. Well, if he gets going, you got to watch out. Oriolan come out and challenge, but he was a little late getting there. That's 6 points for Thomas, and it's 29-26. Marler dribbles into the paint, jump stop, shot up is short. And Thomas with the rebound for Twin Rivers, quickly into the front court. Cuts back into the center. Caught up in the lane, gives it out to, Middlestad at the head of the key. Now Thomas fakes the three-pointer, gives it in the lane, shot up no good by Thurman, but he's going to be fouled. And that one's on Wyatt Marler. And I have that for his first. And this will be the first free throws of the game for Twin Rivers. And it is Isaac Thurman, a 5'11 junior, shooting them for Twin Rivers. His free throw is short. Tanner Ledbetter's at the scorer's table waiting to check in. He must be coming in for Thurman. The next one's good. And Thurman gets his first point of the game and makes it a 2-point lead. And he goes to the bench. And Ledbetter comes back in. He joins Middlestop, Watson, Trout, and Thomas. Dons have not used a substitute yet. Owen at the head of the key, gives it to Ferguson. He's open for a three. No good. Those were going in the first half. Now Twin Rivers has got a chance to tie. They can take the lead with a three-pointer. Trout and Ledbetter have their only threes. Thomas is a good three-point shooter. Give and go. Down the corner, Ledbetter for three. It's good, and they're ahead. Ledbetter's leading with 10 points. It's 30-29 Twin Rivers. Now this is a very, very crucial trip for the Dons. You don't want to not score and let them go down and score and get a little bigger lead. Why in the world? Give that ball inside to Owen. When it goes to the wing, they can get it to him, but they can't get it to him from the corner, it doesn't seem like. Ferguson, his little jumper, no good. And Thomas with the rebound, pass ahead. Behind everybody, layup good by Brent Trout. And again, a nice heads-up play by Hayden Thomas. And the Royals have made that run. They've taken a 32-29 lead with 2:04 left in the third quarter. Coach Cagle calls the timeout. We'll take one, too, and we'll be back in 1 minute.
You've heard it all before. We're number one. We're the best. We have the biggest rebates. Now is the time to skip the hype and come to Current River Ford in Doniphan. They're all about helping you find the perfect new Ford. Current River Ford services your vehicles after the sale. From the moment you drive in, you will receive the quality service you've been missing. With the selection at Current River Ford, you'll find the new vehicle you want. How about getting your next vehicle at a dealership that makes it all about you? Current River Ford, Highway 160 in Doniphan.
The phone booth is your one-stop for all your cell phone needs. The phone booth now offers total wireless, where you can get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data for only $35 a month. Need to add more phones to your account? Not a problem. Family plans are also available. You can manage your account in person or online at tpbooth.com. Come see the phone booth next to Subway in Doniphan for all your cell phone needs.
2 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Twin Rivers has outscored the Dons 14-4 in this third quarter. A lot of times, your momentum if you've got any, and if you don't have any, it'll get you some, and that's kind of what's happened here. Twin Rivers looks like they're playing a box and one on Marler, and he's being guarded all over the floor by Brent Trout, and the other four guys are playing a 2-2 zone. They get Marler on the wing, dribbles to the baseline. He's wide open, his jumper no good. And Hayden Thomas with the rebound. And they're sending somebody down the floor every time, so somebody's going to have to make sure they get back for the Dons. That Trout took off down the floor again. Watson's going to dribble back out front, reset the offense. Dons have been outscored 14-4, and we've played almost 7 minutes in this third quarter. Twin Rivers not getting in any big hurry. Watson a long three-pointer. It's no good. And Marler with the rebound. Dons trail by 3. Marler dribbles to the baseline, feathers back out, and gives it to Ferguson. 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. He dribbles over to the left side. Gives it to Max Torres, back on the right side, over to Ferguson. He was open for a second, and he waited too long, tried to get it into Owen. The ball's going to be stolen. He was open for a minute, but he threw it way too late. Well, Twin Rivers, they might go for the last shot now, leading by 3. Ledbetter, right elbow, fakes a shot, gives it back out to Middlestock. Now Watson comes and gets it, holds the ball on his hip with 17 seconds left, third quarter. He'll dribble it back to the center of the floor. Down to 10 seconds now. Gives it left side to Trout. Out front to Ledbetter. Over to Thomas with 4 seconds. He's going to shoot a 3. He's going to have to shoot it. He goes inside the three-point line, puts it up at the buzzer, no good. Good defense by the Dons. But a big quarter for Twin Rivers. They lead the Dons 32-29, heading to the fourth quarter. We'll be back with that fourth quarter in 1 minute.
Hometown Pharmacy on LaRue Street in Doniphan, your one-stop pharmacy for all of your medical needs. Our pharmacists are now providing vaccinations for flu, pneumonia, and shingles in the pharmacy. Flu shots are covered by Medicare with no co-payment and no appointment is necessary. Hometown Pharmacy now offers a wide variety of vitamins and supplements from Now Foods that help support and promote optimal health through good nutrition. Refills can be requested online or by using our mobile app. We now offer delivery of your prescription if you live within the city limits. Transferring prescriptions is easy. Come by or give us a call and our friendly staff will take care of everything. Hometown Pharmacy, proudly supporting the Dons and Donettes this season. Come experience the difference a Hometown Pharmacy makes.
Welcome back, everybody. Keith Bowman back at Doniphan High School. The Dons got outscored that quarter 14-4 and went from leading by 7 to trailing by 3. I believe it's going to be Don's ball to start the quarter. The Dons have went with the 5 starters the whole game. Torres, Ferguson, Rawlings, Marler, and Owen. And they'll have a chance to get within 1 or tie it with a three-pointer. Twin Rivers has Ledbetter, Watson, Trout, Middlestock, and we got I think an illegal screen on Ori Owen, I think. Trying to get Marler open on the baseline. So that's not a good start. It's Rawlings, Torres, Ferguson, Marler, and Owen. Twin Rivers leads 32-29, just underway in the fourth quarter. The winner of this game will be undefeated in the conference. Trout, guarded by Marler, gives it to Ledbetter. He dribbles back out front, gives it to Middlestock between the circles. Back on the right wing to Watson. Side, hands it off to Middlestock. Now to Ledbetter. In the lane, Watson, turnaround jumper, no good, and Owen with the rebound. We can't get a much better look than that. He was only about 4 or 5 feet out in front of the goal, but he missed it. You have to watch setting those illegal screens, trying to get Marler open. Ferguson to Rawlings, over to Max Torres. Ferguson's going to have to hit a shot here, I think, to get the Dons back in it because they're covering Marler up. He's having a hard time getting open. They're guarding him man-to-man, and they're also helping off on him when he goes off of screens and stuff. So at least the Dons are being patient here. They're not getting in too big a hurry, not yet anyway. A lot of times this year when this has happened, they've gotten in too big a hurry. And they're really sagging in on Owen now with that zone. They should have went to him in the third quarter. And Marler and Trout go to the floor, no call there. Clock winding down, 6:25 to go in the third. Marler at the head of the key, over to Ferguson, he's open. Three-pointer up and in and out. And an over-the-back foul on Oriole. That's his third. And that is the 15th foul on the Dons. Hendricks, Hargraves come back in. Trout and Watson check out. So they have their starters back on the floor. With 6:10 to go. We played almost 2 minutes. Nobody scored this quarter. Hargraves dribbles over to the right side. And he's going to shoot a long three. In and out. Well, that almost went in. And Ferguson with the rebound. Hargraves or Thomas, neither one has hit a three tonight. That's the reason the Dons are still in the game. Marler's open, three-pointer at the head of the key. It's no good, and they made him rush it a little bit. Here comes Twin Rivers. Thomas gives it to Hargraves. He's going to shoot another one, and this one's no good, and Ferguson with another rebound. Ball knocked away from him by Thomas, but he runs it down before it goes out of bounds. Well, Hargraves had two wide-open looks from three. Didn't shoot either one of them. Rawlings gives it to Torres. Torres to Ferguson. Ferguson dribbles down, gets his man in the air, is going to shoot it, and it goes down. That's Derek's first point since the first half. He's got 14, and it's a one-point game. The Twin Rivers leads with 5:10 to go in the ball game. Hargraves gives it left wing to Hendricks. Back to Hargraves. Dons are playing man-to-man, but they're really sagging off. Well, they might be playing. They're playing a diamond and one. Hargraves down into the paint, gives it to Hendricks. His little jumper's up, and it falls in. That's Hendricks' second basket, and the lead back to three. The Dons were actually playing a diamond and one, guarding Thomas man-to-man. And the other four guys playing a zone. So both teams are doing that. Only Twin Rivers is playing a box and one. Two at the free throw line, two down low, and Ferguson carries the basketball. No pressure on him, and that's the kind of turnovers that are killers. Well, Twin Rivers gets the ball back, leading by three, with 4:25 to go in the game. And you'll probably, before long, you're going to see Twin Rivers make the Dons come out and play man-to-man on everybody again. Ledbetter at the free throw line, out to Thomas, fakes the three-pointer, gives it back to Hargraves, going to try another one, and it's no good again, but it's tipped up no good by Ledbetter, and he comes out with the rebound. Great hustle by Tanner Ledbetter. Thomas gives it back to Hargraves, 3:55 to go. Hendricks is going to dribble into the paint, his layup up, and it's good. Now the Dons trail by 5, and at the rate they're scoring, they're giving Twin Rivers a warning. I think they get one warning, and then the second time it's a technical, but you can't touch the ball when it goes through after you make it, knock it out of the way where the other team has to go get it. But the Dons trail by 5, and with this game as low scoring as it is, the Dons going to have a hard time here with only 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Ferguson's going to shoot a fall-away jumper, no good. And good hustle by Levi Rawlings, saves it to Marler for three, it's good. And that was, you give Levi Rawlings part of that 3 points. 36-34, ball in the lane to Middlestock. He had the shot, decided not to shoot it, throws it back out to Hargraves at the head of the key. 36-34, Twin Rivers leads by 2. Now the Dons are going straight man-to-man. Hargraves guarded by Ferguson. Dribbles into the paint, picks it up, pass it to Hendricks, kicks it out to Middlestock. Hargraves thinks about the threes, missed 3 in a row, doesn't take it. Down low, Thomas goes to the baseline, hands it off to Middlestock, lays it in, and he's fouled. I'm telling you what, Thomas has only got 6 points, but that was a great play by the 6'4 senior. He drew Aaron Middlestock's man off to him and hit him, and then the Dons fouled him, and he got the bucket. That's Middlestock's second basket. That is what you call a team player right there, buddy. Middlestock's free throw short, and Ledbetter gets the offensive rebound. Cardinals sin in basketball. You can't let the offensive team get the rebound on the missed free throw. 38-34, 2.5 minutes left. Watson gives the ball over to Hargraves. Twin Rivers is in the bonus. The next time the Dons foul him. And Watson's going to be fouled. And Ferguson fouls him. What in the world did he do that for? That's his 4th. Well, he let Rawlings foul him. They were both there. Sometimes when they get in the heat of the moment there, you just don't pay attention to what you're doing. And I guess they thought Alan Hendricks couldn't shoot free throws, so he can really make it backfire in their face here with 2:23 to go. I'm pretty sure Coach Cagle was telling him to foul him. He missed the free throw, didn't even draw any iron. They should have blew the whistle, but that hit the backboard, didn't hit the rim. It should have been a turnover, but the Dons got the rebound. Well, if they would have got the rebound on that one and didn't call it, that would have been really bad. And a nice pass underneath Owen, and he lays it in. Owen set the screen and rolled off of it as they went for Marler, and he was wide open. 38-36. Oh, my goodness. We had two scores at Bloomfield, this exact score. Hargraves, a little floater up and good. He threw that thing way up in the air. And Twin Rivers back up by 4 with a minute 52 to go in the ball game. We'll take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back. Don't leave us.
Davis True Value is proud to sponsor the Dons and Donettes for another exciting ball season. Just like the Dons and Donettes, Davis True Value knows hard work wins the game. They are your selection, service, and savings destination hardware store, serving the area with paint, plumbing, electrical, lawn and garden, and housewares. Your local True Value hardware with so much more. From window repair to chainsaw sharpening, we are the store of first choice. Behind every project is a True Value.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, car dealers, grocery baggers, and mail carriers. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. Armed service members, you bet we're for you. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And don't worry, we're still for farmers too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
I am Doug Green, the Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, and if you're in Ripley County, I've got you covered.
The timeout. Coach Cagle's got to be proud of his team no matter what happens playing shorthanded here. They're down 4 with a minute 45 to go. They've got the basketball. Derek Ferguson with it. Dribbles over to the right side, gives it to Levi Rawlings. Back out to Ferguson. Dons can't take too awful much time. Over to Ori Owen, back out to Rawlings. Back to Ferguson on the left wing. Ferguson thinks about the 3, doesn't take it, and Coach Cagle's going to call another timeout as the Dons look a little disorganized there. But they didn't take a bad shot, so that's one thing that was good about it. I'm going to keep it here. As soon as the game's over, usually the YouTube games that are on YouTube, we just give the scoring right after the game's over, but I want to reiterate what I was saying there. Coach Cagle's got to be proud of his kids. He has used 5 players in this game. They've went the whole way. Coach McBroom has subbed in and out, used about, I guess probably nine players, maybe 10, probably 10. And the Dons have hung right with them. They had a lead at halftime and come back out cold, but they have really good, an excellent effort no matter what happens here. They've still got time, but they got to get a bucket and then they need a stopper. Well, Twin Rivers actually surprised me that they shot the ball the last trip down, but Hargraves got ice water in his veins. And again, Hargraves and Thomas only have 6 points apiece, but they have other guys. Tanner Ledbetter has 10. Brent Trout has come off the bench with 7. Alan Hendricks has made a couple of big buckets, and their supporting cast has really helped them out. But I gotta commend Thomas and Hargraves for they have played great team ball. They know the Dons have really concentrated on stopping them, and they have made some great passes. But the Dons still got time. But they definitely need a bucket this trip down the floor. Rawlings gives it over to Torres. Torres bounces it to Marler. Don't take a bad shot. You got time. Pass to Rawlings. Hands it off to Owen, and he lays it in. Great pass by Levi Rawlings. And it's 40-38 with 1 minute to play. And you know Twin Rivers are going to try to keep it in. Thomas and Hargraves are going to double team, and Torres knocks it away. Derek Ferguson got the ball, and a timeout called by Coach Cagle. Great play, defensive play on the double team from Max Torres and Derek Ferguson. And the Dons have the ball with 50 seconds to go, trailing 40-38. We're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back after this message.
If you're shopping for a new car, truck, or SUV, you need to make a stop at Countryside Chevrolet on Highway 160 in Doniphan. Countryside has one of the largest Chevrolet selections in the area, plus plenty of pre-owned vehicles that go through a 117-point inspection before they're warranted for 12 months or 12,000 miles. The goal at Countryside is to provide you the best deal on your next car, truck, or SUV. See them online at CountrysideChevrolet.com or call 1-800-63-CHEVY. Chevrolet, an American revolution.
All right, folks, great defense by the Dons. Got the ball back. They've got a chance to tie it with a 2 with a 3. And Coach Cagle's got to be getting close to, well, no, it says on the scoreboard he's still got 2 timeouts, and Twin Rivers has got 3. So I guess a couple of those timeouts were called by Coach McBroom. All right, Dons bring it in, trailing by 2. Marler on the right wing. Gives it out front to Owen. Owen looking for the cutter, nobody open. Takes it into the paint, is knocked away and stolen. Oh. What are you doing with the big boy handling the ball out front? My goodness. And now Torres has to foul Thomas in that. Twin Rivers is only 1 of 4 from the free throw line, but Hayden Thomas has not been there. Oh, man. I never could understand why you have your big guy out at the head of the key handling the basketball, and he probably wasn't supposed to dribble that down into the lane, but Twin Rivers reached in, knocked it away, got it back. It's a 1-on-1. Hayden Thomas puts it up, and it's no good. Twin Rivers 1 of 5 from the free throw line. 25 seconds to go. Ferguson hands it to Max Torrey. Out to Rawlings. Rawlings gives it to Marler. He's double teamed. Back to Rawlings. Rawlings, free throw line jumper up and no good. He's fouled. With 12 seconds to go, foul on Tanner Ledbetter. Oh. Well, these will be the most pressure-packed free throws that Levi Rawlings has ever shot. I can tell you that right now. He's a 6'1" sophomore. And it is 2 shots. Dons trail by 2. Free throw is good. It's 40-39. And that is Levi's first point in the game. And we got a timeout called by Coach McBroom with 12.1 seconds to go. And Rawlings can tie it if he makes this second free throw. We're going to keep it here. Want to remind everybody, so we don't have to do it after the game, Monday night, the South Iron Lady Panthers will be right here at Doniphan. They come in with a 10-2 record. They'll be taking on the 10-2 Doniphan Donettes. And what should be a great game. South Iron has a fantastic team. The Donettes went up there and played them last year. I think they made it to the Final Four last year in Class 1. And they lost one really good player, but they still have a really good team. So it'll be a big test for the Donettes on Monday. And also Tuesday, the Dons will be back in action here against the Winona Wildcats. So Levi Rawlings nailed that first free throw, but now he's had time to think about that second one. I wish he could have shot it before the timeout. So if he makes it, Dons just got to try to play good defense and force overtime. If he misses it, they're going to have to foul right away. Both teams with 2 timeouts left. And as I said, Coach Cagle, you've got to be proud of his kids. And one more shot for Levi Rawlings. Trying to tie the game at 40. Eyes it up. It's good. We'll see who gets the ball. Comes to Hargraves. And they throw it away. Tried to hit Watson right in front of the Twin Rivers bench with 7.3 seconds to go. The Dons have the ball. And I'm telling you what I think is going to happen right here is either Marler or Ferguson is going to take the ball and go to the basket and probably try to draw a foul if they can't get something real quick. They've only got 7 seconds. Oh my goodness. Hargraves got a little greedy there, and he threw a bad pass, and Watson had no chance of catching it. It was way behind him. He got a hand on it, but all right, here we go, folks. I think it's 7.3 seconds to go. The Dons have it in the back court, and I'm sure you're going to see some sort of full court pressure by Twin Rivers trying to make them use a little time. I don't think they'll just let them get it into the front court. Well, Twin Rivers has got 2 timeouts left. They are going to play full court. They're going to keep somebody back. Inbounds comes to Ferguson. He's going to have to hurry, and he's fouled. Twin Rivers, that's smart ball by Coach McBroom. That's only their 5th team foul. Well, the Dons need to, well, I don't know. I don't know if they can even get, if they run 2 or 3 seconds off the clock here and then foul, it's almost going to be impossible. Inbounds comes in again. And Ferguson's going to have to go. Gets it into the front court. Shoots it. No good. And we're going to overtime. 40-40. I'm surprised they didn't foul again because they weren't in the bonus yet. But it didn't go down. So we've got, I believe they play 4 minutes of overtime. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be back. Don't leave us, folks.
You've heard it all before. We're number 1. We're the best. We have the biggest rebates. Now is the time to skip the hype and come to Current River Ford in Doniphan. They're all about helping you find the perfect new Ford. Current River Ford services your vehicles after the sale. From the moment you drive in, you will receive the quality service you've been missing. With the selection at Current River Ford, you'll find the new vehicle you want. How about getting your next vehicle at a dealership that makes it all about you? Current River Ford, Highway 160 in Doniphan.
Well, folks, we've had a good one here. We were tied at 11 at the end of the first quarter. The Dons had a 7-point lead at half. Twin Rivers had a big third quarter led by 3 points heading to the fourth. The Dons outscore them 11-8 to force overtime. Had a shot at the buzzer. It was a tough one by Ferguson. Missed it. So we're going to play 4 minutes of overtime. And I don't know why they cleared the fouls on the board. They shouldn't have done that. I hope the scorekeepers have the amount of fouls because the Dons were in the bonus, and Twin Rivers, Twin Rivers was in the bonus, but the Dons weren't. And they cleared the board. I don't know how come they tipped them off there. They don't clear the board going to overtime. So we'll have a jump ball to start at 4 minutes on the clock. We're tied at 40. Ball tipped and controlled by Twin Rivers. Hargraves, Hendricks, Ledbetter, Middlestott, and Thomas. Hargraves right side. Dribbles into the paint, loses it, and he catches it back. That's a walk. Yeah. He lost it on the way up and caught it. He put it in, but that's a walk. And the Dons 5 that is out there has played 32 minutes, and they're going to play 4 more at least. Marler on the right wing. Gives it to Oriolan out front. Now to Ferguson. Gets a screen from Owen. Owen rolls to the basket. He's not open. Now he posts up, and he was open for a minute, but they didn't get it to him again. Max Torres gives it to Owen. Over to Marler. Now he's going to get a screen. He reverses to the baseline. Takes it in, up off the glass. Won't go. Battle for the rebound, and going to be a tie ball, and it'll belong to the Dons on the tie-up. Twin Rivers got the jump, so it'll be Dons' ball. Good hustle by both teams. Well, that shot just wouldn't fall for Marler. He made a nice move to get open. Well, he wasn't open. It was a contested shot. And then the Dons almost had the offensive rebound. But then the ball went to the floor, knocked to the floor. And Wyatt Marler will throw it in underneath the left side of the Dons basket. 40-40. We're in the first overtime. Twin Rivers and Doniphan. Marler gets open. A fall-away 3 is short. And an over-the-back foul on Oriolan. And that's his 4th. And Owen and Ferguson both have 4 fouls. Oh, they say that's 5. I missed one. Oh, that's going to hurt. The Dons have not had a sub the whole game. And it's going to be Nolan Zerwanka, the freshman, checking in. Owen's going to foul out with 12 points. And, boy, you just can't get that foul. You can't get that foul. He has got to learn that you can't. And you're tied in overtime. Just go get back and make them play defense and try to get the ball back. Middlestott at the line. And he missed it, but an offensive rebound. Ledbetter's killed the Dons on the offensive boards. He is very athletic. Middlestott gives it back out to Hargrave. 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go. We're tied at 40. Neither team has scored. Hargraves is going to be carried for palming the basketball. And be called for carrying the basketball. That's the second time in the game that he's been called. I don't think Coach McBroom agreed with that one, but it looked like he did. I'm on the opposite side of the floor, but I think they call it, or they do it a whole lot, but they don't call it all the time. And again, I don't really fault the kids if they don't call it all the time. Zawalka hands it to Marler. Marler into the paint, drops it off on the baseline. Max Torres goes up, and he is hammered by Alan Hendricks, excuse me. That's Hendricks' second foul. And Max Torres, who has not scored, and I'm not even sure, I think he might have attempted one shot under the basket earlier. And Parker Watson trying to get into the game, but there's a two-shot foul, so he'll have to wait till after they shoot the first one. Free throw short. That's the first minute of the second half. And Hendricks is going to check out, and Parker Watson comes in. So we played almost a minute and a half in overtime, and neither team has scored. Torres misses the second one. Ball tipped around. Levi Rawlings gets it to shot block. He should have took it back out. Coach Cagle was trying to call a timeout, but they're not going to give him that timeout there when they're turning to shoot the shot, I don't think. Middlestott. Way out front, gives it to Ledbetter. Ledbetter holding above his head. Bounces to Watson, over to Hargraves. Hargraves dribbles to the free throw line, gives it to Thomas. Thomas looking underneath, gets it to Ledbetter. Ledbetter turns, shoots, and it's good. That's 12 for Ledbetter. Dons trail by 2. 2 minutes left in overtime. They clear it out for Ferguson. Dribbles into the paint, and he's called for carrying the basketball. Coach Cagle knew he'd done it. So that's one carry on each team here in overtime. And now the Dons have 9 team fouls, so if they foul, they have to go to foul, and it's going to be 2 shots for Twin Rivers. Corey Owen is fouled out. The Dons almost playing with 5 guards on the floor, basically. Thomas gives it to Hargraves, down in the lane to Middlestott, kicks it out to Ledbetter, back out front to Hargraves. Over to Thomas, minute 35 to go, back to Hargraves. Hargraves down into the paint, and his pass stolen by Rawlings. And then it's loose on the floor, picked up by Rawlings. Gives it to Ferguson, and Coach Cagle calls a timeout. Good defense by the Dons, and I don't know where Hargraves was going. I know he shot a couple shots in regulation I thought were iffy. He made one of them, but that the Dons stole it and still have a shot here. I was hoping they wouldn't have to foul him. Twin Rivers is only 1 out of 6 at the free throw line tonight, which is something that I would not have thought. I would have thought they would have been excellent free throw shooters. Maybe they're just not getting the right guys to the line. So their score is 42-40, Twin Rivers. And the possibility here we might end up with another overtime. The Dons score a 2 here. It was 40-40. The Dons haven't scored in overtime. And Twin Rivers has got 2. That bucket by Ledbetter. He is their leading scorer tonight with 12 points. He is the only man in double figures. The Dons have 2. Ferguson's got 14 and Marler's got 12. Well, actually, they got 3. Ari Owen has 12. So the Dons will have the ball, I think, right at midcourt. Twin Rivers has got 3 timeouts left, and Doniphan has 1. The Dons will inbound it just inside their side of the court. Max Torres will throw it in. Throws it in the backcourt to Ferguson with 1:20 to go. Ferguson carrying it again, got away with it. Gives it to Zawalka. Zawalka hands it to Marler. Marler guarded by Hendricks. Down into the lane. And he lost it. And Hargraves has got to run out. Zawalka trying to catch up with him. And he is going to foul him. Good hustle by Zawalka. Of course, the Twin Rivers fans all want an intentional foul, but he went for the ball. That's not an intentional foul, folks. No matter how bad you want it. As long as you go for the ball. And he actually got a piece of the ball and partially blocked the shot. So Hargraves at the line. And as hard a time as the Dons are having scoring right now, they don't need to be any further behind. And he makes the first one. That is his 7th point. And now they're 2 of 7 from the free throw line in the ballgame. Dons are 6 out of 10. And he missed the second one. And the Dons still only 3 points down if they can get Marler open, which they got time to not shoot a 3. You're going to put him at the free throw line again. Zawalka gives it to Ferguson. He's going to shoot a 3. It's good! Derek Ferguson ties the game at 43. First points of overtime. And 40 seconds to go. Ferguson guarding Hargraves close. You don't want to get a foul, Derek. You've got 4. Dons have already lost Oreo in the fouls. And another timeout, this time by Coach McBroom. And we'll take a break. We'll just make it a 30-second one so we don't miss anything. 43-43 is our score in overtime. Be back in 30 seconds.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, car dealers, grocery baggers, and mail carriers. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. Armed service members, you bet we're for you. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And don't worry, we're still for farmers too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
I am Doug Green, the Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, and if you're in Ripley County, I've got you covered.
Welcome back, everybody. We're tied 43-43. A big three-pointer by Derek Ferguson has tied it. We're in the first overtime. And it's going to be Twin Rivers' ball. And they'll be inbounded over on the far side. And we have 39.6 seconds to go. Don's got to make sure that if they miss a shot, they got to block out because they've been getting out rebounded. Tanner Ledbetter has really hurt him on the board. Thomas into the lane, going to put up the shot. It won't go, but another offensive rebound by Middlestad. Out to Hargraves. That's what I just said. They're going to get another crack at it because the Dons couldn't get the rebound. Hargraves bounces to Middlestad. Looking back door, nobody open. Back out to Hargraves. Knocked away, but he goes right to Thomas over on the wing. They're going to take him out front, and they're going to clear it out for Thomas with 10 seconds to go. Guarded by Max Torres. Thomas looking up at the clock. Gets a screen. Dribbles over to the right side. Don't foul him. Just stay on him. And the ball is stolen by Ferguson, and we're going to our second overtime. Holy Moses, Twin Rivers didn't even get a shot off. Going to overtime number 2. 43-43. Both teams scored 3 points in that overtime. And not much scoring. Boy, awful exciting game for a low-scoring game here. 43 all. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be back.
The phone booth is your one-stop for all your cell phone needs. The phone booth now offers Total Wireless, where you can get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data for only $35 a month. Need to add more phones to your account? Not a problem. Family plans are also available. You can manage your account in person or online at tpbooth.com. Come see the phone booth next to Subway in Doniphan for all your cell phone needs.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you're watching us on YouTube, and you have seen a fantastic ball game. As I said right before the break, low-scoring game, 43-43 at the end of the first overtime, but it has been nip and tuck pretty much all the way through. And we got I hate to say this if you're a Dons fan, but the longer this goes, the less chance I think of the Dons have winning it because they've already lost Oreo into fouls, and Derek Ferguson is playing with 4. And Twin Rivers doesn't have anybody with any more than 3 fouls. So it'll be Levi Rawlings jumping against Thomas. And the ball is tipped, and it'll be controlled by Ledbetter. So we got 4 minutes on the clock again for our second overtime. Hargraves passes right side to Middlestock. Trying to get it inside. Nobody open. Back to Hendricks, and Hendricks will give it back to Middlestock. Back out front to Hargraves. He dribbles over to the right side. Tells Hendricks to cut through the lane. Hargraves dribbles, looking for a cutter. Nobody open. Has to throw it back out to Middlestock. Good defense by the Dons. Ferguson's guarding Hargraves. That's a little dangerous. Hendricks back to Hargraves. My throat's getting a little raspy here. Thomas on the right side. Puts it on the floor, back to Hargraves. If he drives to the basket, Ferguson just got to let him go, and there he goes, but he kicks it out to Ledbetter. Twin Rivers is taking almost a minute off the clock. Hendricks into the paint. He goes up, and he's fouled by Levi Rawlings. The last time Hendricks was there, he didn't even hit the rim with his first free throw. It was in front of him 1-on-1, but he does have 2 shots this time. That's the Dons are over the 2 foul limit, and also the Dons will be in the bonus if they get fouled. Twin Rivers has got 16 fouls, so the next one will be the 7th. Watson's free throw is good. And that is Alan Watson's 7th point. They have really balanced their scoring. A lot of guys with 6-7 points. Next one up, and it's no good. Max Torres gets the rebound. So Twin Rivers leads 44-43. 3 minutes to go in the second overtime. Ferguson dribbles into the front court. Twin Rivers is in him full man-to-man now. Marler gets the ball, takes it into the paint. Shot up, too hard. A little bit too hard. And Middlestock get the rebound for Twin Rivers. Thomas bring it into the front court, give it to Hargraves. In the corner to Hendricks. Back out to Hargraves. Back to Hendricks. They're trying to get it into Thomas. They're backing off of Hendricks. They're going to give it back out front to Hargraves. He's going to shoot a 3, and it's good. I knew sooner or later he'd hit one. And Twin Rivers goes up by 4. He's got 10 points now. That's his first 3-pointer of the game. Well, the Dons have to be in a little bit more of a rush now. Down by 4. Ferguson open for 3. It's up, and it's an air ball. Max Torres with a nice save. Saves it to Rawlings. Out front to Marler. 2 minutes to go in overtime. Dons trail 47-43. Ferguson gets a screen from Marler. Into the paint. Jump stop. Shot up and good. 19 for Ferguson. 47-45. Twin Rivers up by 2. And we've got 1:45 left in the second overtime. Well, the Dons are playing their hearts out here, folks. If you're a Dons fan, you can be proud no matter what happens. Thomas dribbles into the paint, little short jumper, it's good. Well, they let him get open that time. And their 2 seniors making some big buckets here in the second overtime. They go back up 49-45 with 1:31 to go. We want to remind everybody again, Monday night, we'll be right back here on YouTube. And the Donettes will be hosting the South Iron Lady Panthers. Tuesday night also on YouTube, but the Dons will be playing the Winona Wildcats right here at Bill L. Wright Gymnasium. This game has just been back and forth. Let's see, the Dons led at the end of the second quarter. Twin Rivers led at the end of the third quarter, and all the other 3, the 2 quarters in overtime has been tied. That's how close the game has been all the way through. And again, I want to remind everybody, Don's playing without Trent Lippold tonight. And Twin Rivers has their full complement of players, and the Dons have played their socks off. They're down by 4 now with 1:31 to go in the ball game, or in the second overtime anyway. You have to excuse me if I keep clearing my throat. I'm glad I got a couple of days off after this. Ferguson dribbles over to the left side. Gives it to Marler. Oh, he threw it to Marler. And Marler looked away. Now you can't do that, fellas. They're kind of hollering at each other a little bit. Just a little miscommunication. Hendricks is going to check out. And it'll be Parker Watson coming back in. So the Dons down by 4 now, in a little bit of trouble. And Twin Rivers is in the 2-shot bonus if the Dons foul them. And they can't wait too long before they start fouling if they don't get a steal. Thomas is double teamed. Throws it over to Middlestock. Over to Watson. Back out to Middlestock. They need to foul. Then they throw it away. Middlestock just overshot Hargraves really bad. Now Coach McBroom playing offense-defense as he brings Hendricks back in to guard Marler on the offensive end for the Dons. Zawalka hands it to Marler. He's open. His three-pointer's off. And Middlestock with a rebound. And Ferguson fouls him. And what in the world are you doing, Derek? Now see that they have played such a great game. And Ferguson and Owen both have got to know they can't commit the foul that's going to foul them out of the game. Their team needs them on the floor. Ferguson had a great game, 19 points, but boy, you just can't commit that foul, just like Owen couldn't commit his when he did. That's going to bring Brandon Moore, another freshman, into the game for the Dons. Brandon Moore. Middlestock. Oh my gosh. He even turned his head sideways, banking in a free throw. That I don't believe he meant to do that, but it went in, and that gives Twin Rivers a 5-point lead. So beginning to look a little bleak for the Dons here. They're getting to the point where they're going to have to shoot a three-pointer. Middlestock missed that one, and the ball's tipped right back to him. Gets it out to Hendricks. Over to Hargraves. And Hargraves is going to be fouled. And that probably just about done it there, because even though Hargraves did miss 1 out of 2 the last time he was there, he has 10 points in the ball game. And he'll be shooting 2. If he makes both of them, and he does make the first one, if he makes both of them, it's a three-possession game. Aaron Middlestock checks out, and Brent Trout comes in for the Royals. If he makes this one, it's a 7-point lead, and he did. And the Dons in dire straits now. Marler open for a three-pointer, up and no good. And Trout with the rebound. Hendricks throws it up in the front court to Hargraves. And he's going to dribble around, try to run a little clock. And he's going to be fouled by Zawalka. You can see, Twin Rivers only made 3 out of their first 10. But right here down the stretch, they've made 3 out of the last 4. And Hargraves at the line was just 2 of 2 there just a short time ago. And it's good. So the lead is up to 8. That's 13 for Zach Hargraves. And 14. And the lead is 9. 25 seconds to go. Zawalka hands it to Max Torrey. Off to Moore. Zawalka's going to fire up a long 3. It's no good. And the ball tipped, and Moore's going to lay it in, and he gets fouled. That wasn't very smart by Twin Rivers. Well, Brandon Moore gets into the scoring column with 2, and he'll have to get to shoot a free throw. That foul was on Hargraves, his 4th. And that makes the score 54-47. And 14.4 seconds to go. We got a timeout. The Dons JV won 51-41. And for much of this game, the Dons were right there. But it looks like it's going to be a little too late here, as Twin Rivers has got, let's see, they've scored 11 points in overtime, and the Dons have only got 4. They are going to be shooting a free throw when they come back out, trying to convert a old-fashioned three-point play. It's going to be a tough loss for the Dons if they get it, but as I've said 3 or 4 times already, Coach Cagle got to be as proud as he can be of his guys playing shorthanded to play the Royals, who have all of their players playing, and to play them this tough, take them into double overtime. Brandon Moore will be shooting the free throw, trying to finish off a 3-point play. And I don't know what Coach Cagle will do here, but if he would miss this free throw, I think I would just let him run it out. He did miss it. Hargraves gets the rebound. Dribbles into the back court, and he's fouled by Max Torres, and I really don't understand why you're doing that down 7 points. 11 seconds to go, and that's just going to let Hargraves pad his point total and get you farther down. Because he has made 4 in a row. I think in the first half, I think he's made 5 of 6 for the game. And he is knocking them down now. And after making 3 out of the first 10, they have made 6 out of 7 this half. Ledbetter and Thomas check out. They send Watson and Laura and Thurman in. Second one is missed. Zawalka with a rebound. 8-point lead. Zawalka dribbles into the front court. Hands it to Marler. Fires up a long three-pointer, and it's good. And that makes it 55-50. And that is our final. Where the Dons come up a little short, but a heck of a game as the Twin Rivers Royals defeat the Dons in double overtime, 55-50. Scoring for Twin Rivers, Hargraves finished with 15. Hayden Thomas had 8. Brent Trout 7. Tanner Ledbetter had 12. 1 for Isaac Thurman. 7 for Alan Hendricks. 5 for Aaron Middlestott. And they were, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 18 from the free throw line. The Dons, Max Torres did not score, I was thinking he missed for both those free throws. Ferguson finishes with 19, Marler 15, Owen 12, Rawlings 2, and Brandon Moore 2. And the Dons were 6 out of 11 from the free throw line. So the Dons come up a little short, double overtime, 55-50. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Make sure you join us on Monday night as the Donettes play the South Iron Lady Panthers. Good night, everybody.